here today with Daisy. I want to talk about the place command. So you've probably seen it in some of our videos where I'm working with client dogs and we're getting them onto the place command. It simply means sending a dog to its place, and we like to use a raised cot bed, but you can use a dog's bed, whatever you like. It just has to be something with defined edges so the dog understands the parameters that it's allowed to move on. And we prefer something that's raised while the dog is learning because it's easier for the dog to understand that they are on something or they're off something because of the height difference. So Daisy already knows this command, so we're going to break it down step by step. How we want to start, everything's on leash and collar to start with. And in your house, yes, you can have the leash and collar on your dog in the house. So I'm just going to walk her away from it. She's ready to go. She loves the place command. Okay? So I'm going to walk her up to it, and I'm just going to pause here, just in front of it, just to sort of mark the spot that something's changing here. And I'm going to issue the word. There's some debate as to whether you should say the word or not. If the dog is going to be afraid of this, then don't say the word. But if your dog is pretty easygoing and likes to climb on stuff, go ahead and name it now. All right, so I'm going to say Daisy place. Good. When all 4 of her feet were on this raised bed, I said good. My tone is slightly probably happy. That's just how I am, but you want to be sort of as neutral as possible. Don't go with over-the-top praise because then the dog will be too excited. This is a quiet place for your dog, all right? Then I'm just simply going to walk her off. Daisy, all right? Then we'll do it again. So we do this a number of times. What's the number? It's a big number. And pause here. Daisy place. Good. And that's actually the default of what we would like them to do, is to lie down on this. Now the objective is just for the dog to be on this and to be calm, preferably lying down, but they can sit up. They can get up and turn around. They can face the other way. They have to just be on here and not be getting off. So I'm just going to wait here a bit. Daisy, and we're just going to walk off. Now let's say I've done this umpteen times, 100 times. Now I'm not going to pause, I'm just going to walk her on. Daisy place. Good. And I'm just going to stay close to her. So I'm sort of anchoring her. So you see she stopped where I stopped. All right, Daisy. And again, I'm just going to give the command as we're in motion. Okay. Daisy place. Good. She likes to look at me. She's waiting for a treat. She actually doesn't need a treat every single time she does this. But if you need to give your dog a treat, that's okay. Treat them while they're on here. Just give a little something. There you go. And then we'll walk them up. Daisy. All right. Now I'm going to issue the command. And so let's say I've done that 100 times. Don't count. Just imagine it's a lot of times that you have to do this. Now I'm going to give the command and see if she'll go ahead of me. I will anchor her with the word good and see if I can walk past her this time. Okay. Daisy place. Good. And I can walk past. Now, yes, Daisy knows this, so she understands the exercise. But a lot of dogs, because you've done this 100 times, they understand that you want them there, and now we're giving them the next level of distraction of you walking past. The leash is loose, and I'm going to give her the opportunity to get off and make an error so that I can fix the error. How I'm going to fix the error? I'm just going to tell her no, and I'm going to put her back on here. So I want the leash nice and loose, and I want my body language to be inviting. The motion should be slow and fluid, and you're just going to move around the dog. Right? So you're just going to show them that while motion is happening, be mindful not to pull them off, so that's why this is loose. You're going to show them that movement can happen around them while they're on here, but they're going to stay on here. All right? So if she got off, no, place, good. That's the only thing that we're doing to correct them, is we're just saying no, and telling them the command again and putting them back on there and telling them they're good when they get on. Okay, this is the learning stage. Then when I want to get her off, I'm going to return to be beside her at first, and we'll walk off. Daisy, good girl. All right? So that's what we can do. Now we'll do it with the down command. All right? So if your dog knows the down command, Daisy, place, down, good. Now I can just mark the good when the dog is down, or you can mark each individual step. You can mark with good when all 4 feet are on the place command. And then when you give the down command, say good again. If the dog sits instead of downing, that's okay. So we're just gonna do the slow, fluid motion. No. Good. Now see that? She self-corrected. All I had to say was no, and she went, oops, I forgot. I'm supposed to be on here. And she went and lay down again, and all I said was good. All right? So this is an opportunity to teach the dog when they make an error. And they're gonna make errors. Everybody makes errors. Okay. Later on, next 100 reps, you can start dropping the leash. I want the dog not to get up when I pick up the leash. So first, I'm gonna walk around with the leash on the ground, and the dog might be going, oh, I think I can make a run for it. So this is where you have to make sure that your dog probably isn't going to make a run for it, so that you can get back to them if need be, step on the leash. But I also want them that when they see this getting picked up, that they don't jump up and think it's time to get up and go. So if they did get up, you just simply say no and put them back. So the leash movement from being down here and being picked up, that doesn't mean anything. And at this point, again, we're gonna return to the dog. Daisy, good girl. All right. Now, eventually, this is what you can do. You can have your dog off leash. This is with many, many hundreds of reps. Daisy, place. Daisy. Believe it or not, she's had hundreds of reps. Down. Good. All right, so you see something that wasn't perfect. That's excellent. What did I do? I just told her the command again. Peter, who she loves, is behind the camera there, so that's where she went first. Forgetting that I was working with her, I called her to place. She got here and I told her down, and now she's staying. So now, she's ready for me to give her a release command. So instead of me going and attaching the leash to her, which I could, I can give her her release word, free. And it's super, 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 super important. There's Daisy going to see Peter. Daisy, place. Daisy. Ah. She'd really rather go see Peter. Good girl. It's so important that if the dog gets up or makes a mistake or leaves when you weren't looking or whatever, that you simply put them back, and then you either put the leash on and walk them off, or even if they have the leash on. So let's say the leash was off, that something's happened, maybe, I don't know, for some reason you need the leash on, maybe the doorbell rang or you're getting ready to go out somewhere and you want the dog under control. Maybe they run like a lunatic through your house if the leash isn't on. So you have them off leash, put the leash on. Mind you, if they were a lunatic, I would have them on leash on this command. And then you can give them the release word now, free. But I can prevent her from running over to see Peter this time. I can block her, right? So I'm giving her a little bit of a training lesson right now, so that even though she wants to go see Peter and technically she's free, I want her to stay with me. And now I'll give her the place command. Daisy, place. Good. Now for that, she got a little correction. She got a little tug on the collar because she didn't listen to my command that I gave her. She still wants to go see Peter. So again, another good example of why the leash is so important to have on when you're teaching your dog this command, right? Excellent. No, down. Good. And then you can drop the leash and you can practice. Don't go out of sight with your dog. Gradually build up the distractions. Once the dog is really good at this, like they've done like like 300 reps at this level, then you can start trying to go out of sight. It's all very incremental, and you have to really teach them this command, but it is a sanity saver, and it's a calming command for your dog. Puppies can start learning this right away. Adult dogs of any age can learn this too. All right, have fun with your dog.